me like a Hellcat.
What's going on, deputies? Officer Nick 500 here, back with another video from Chills. Today we will be watching haunted lighthouses. Very disturbing pasts. Let's go.
For hundreds of years, lighthouses have been used to keep ships and the people on board safe from getting too close to dangerous areas. As you will soon find out in these cases, the real danger was the lighthouses themselves. We traveled to the most haunted lighthouses I could find, and with numerous ghost sightings at these locations. The horrible things that have happened there may explain these notoriously haunted places. In 1808, on the Great Lakes coast of the Toronto Islands, the Gibraltar Lighthouse was constructed and eventually lit a year later. Aside from its typical historical value, the Gibraltar Lighthouse has a dark past to accompany it. According to local lore, the lighthouse's first keeper had his life taken in his keeper's cottage. Apparently, his spirit has haunted the grounds ever since. John Paul Rattlemuller, the first keeper of the lighthouse, crafted.
He had his life taken in a cottage. Okay, for one, why you live in a cottage right next to the ocean? 'Cause, like, if it floods, you're dead. I understand currently people live near the ocean. But they're not 5 feet away from it when they walk out of their bedroom door. So, yeah, your life was taken. Let's find out how.
Apparently, his spirit has haunted the grounds ever since. John Paul Rattlemuller, the first keeper of the lighthouse, crafted his own bootlegged beer according to the legend. One night, a drunken group of men trespassed towards the cottage in search of the beer. Of course, once they approached Rattlemuller's home, a dispute broke out. The legend claims that in a shoddy attempt to cover their crime, the drunken men chopped Rattlemuller into pieces and scattered him along the ground.
They shot him or killed him and then chopped him up. And this dude's going in this lighthouse. Sign me up. I will gladly go with you. Yeah. It's a bit interesting.
Jawbone and various other small bone fragments were found in the garden near the cottage, though it was impossible at the time to confirm the DNA of the bones. Locals obviously assumed they belonged to Rattlemuller, who had been missing for several weeks at the time of this discovery.
Bone fragments? Found where? I would love to know. No, so what did they do? Like what you do with ashes, scatter them? Is that what they did? They took this guy's body, it's chopped up, and just was like, oh, you want one too? I can't. I'm not sure if those guys were caught. That's my hair at the moment. That's why I'm wearing a hat. Okay, this flashlight keeps flickering. I have to turn it off. Makes for better lighting. But
For decades, the mystery of Rattle Mueller's passing was drawn out, with many investigators simply stating, "Your guess is as good as mine." Though some aspects of his passing were later confirmed, such as the story of the drunken dispute and the aggressive nature of the time, many other points were either never confirmed or entirely debunked. Rattle Mueller's body was never actually hacked and hidden. Instead, he was buried in a local graveyard without the public being made aware.
he's been missing for several weeks, and nobody has found him. I wonder why. Oh wait, his body is chopped up. Has anybody even mentioned calling the police? Like, they all assumed it was him, but they're like, I don't want to get my hands on that. Think, people. There's a dead body somewheres. Honestly, hold on, can we just take a second to think? You could walk into a freaking Target. No drag to Target. Don't sue me. No, this isn't meant to affect Target or any other store. I'm saying this because this could happen to any place. So let's say you go to a store. You find out you're in the store, right? And a day later, the day after you were in that store, the police find a dead body in the back. You're probably like, I was just there. The body was probably there. No. Ew. Ew. Yeah, no. No, no, no.
Due to the popularity behind the passing, both professionals and tourists that visit the location claim that it is haunted by Rattle Mueller's spirit. Who tampers with the lighthouse flag, calls out to tourists, can be seen in the rocky areas near the shore, and moves equipment when repair teams are on site. Entering the lighthouse, I already had an eerie feeling. The cold winter weather didn't make me feel any more welcomed in the surrounding area either. Even hundreds of years later, barely anyone lives near this lighthouse, making it the perfect grounds for a roaming spirit. The friendly locals were not short on their own personal paranormal stories either. The stairs leading up to the very top were small and cramped. I could imagine a lonely man.
He wasn't chopped up and scattered. He was buried, or did they chop up? Okay, this video is not making any sense. Why did I unpause it? This video does not make any sense at the certain time because they said they saw bone fragments out and about that they assumed to be his. Okay. And then apparently he was found buried in a graveyard. Alright, just throwing that in front of you, that his body was not chopped up, or was half of it scattered and then buried. I don't know. Maybe they were lazy, and maybe because they were drunk, they were too lazy and tired to chop the rest of him. Chopped up his leg, thought, you know what, this is enough to scatter and fertilize the ground. And then we're going to bury the rest of him. What? Get your story straight. Thank you very much. I'd appreciate it.
Due to the popularity behind the passing, both professionals and tourists that visit the location claim that it is haunted by Rattle Mueller's spirit. Who tampers with the lighthouse flag, calls out to tourists, can be seen in the rocky areas near the shore and moves equipment when repair teams are on site. Entering the lighthouse, I already had an eerie feeling. The cold winter weather didn't make me feel any more welcomed in the surrounding area either. Even hundreds of years later, barely anyone lives near this lighthouse, making it the perfect grounds for a roaming spirit. The friendly locals were not short on their own personal paranormal stories either. The stairs leading up to the very top were small and cramped. I could imagine a lonely man climbing those stairs every day, knowing that if he missed a single step and fell, no one would find him for a very long time. As the massive city of Toronto is in sight from the top of the lighthouse, this small...
So if he missed a step and fell, he wouldn't be found. Yet drunken men walked up them somehow perfectly, slaughtered him, or didn't, we don't know, brought him down the stairs without falling. Keep in mind, they are drunk, without falling. Oh my. Alright.
In development, and it appears the ghost of Rattle Mueller isn't going away anytime soon. Now, it was time to visit the next haunted lighthouse. Peggy's Cove is an infamous lighthouse in Nova Scotia with an intriguing, mysterious past. The lighthouse was constructed in 1868 and first lit 47 years later in 1915. The lore that follows this lighthouse is quite vague but effectively unsettling. A young mother named Peggy lost her children in a shipwreck. Suffering from the loss, she began to walk the shore near the lighthouse every night and call out for the spirits of her children, or simply sob while kneeling beside the water. One night, Peggy's husband decided to join her and attempt to make her feel better. He danced along the rocky shore for Peggy in a silly display of comfort. Unfortunately, her husband slipped on the wet rocks, injured his skull, and passed away. Peggy continued her nightly walks after the passing of her husband, in a worse state than ever. Eventually, she took her own life by jumping to the rough waters below.
Yeah. So, when your children die from a shipwreck, never, ever, 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 ever try to talk it over with a therapist. Never, ever, ever do that. Walk a line along a slippery rock, hoping you don't fall and die too. And just call out for your deceased children. I mean, I'd call out to a demon or a ghost too, but that's because I like paranormal stuff. You're calling out to your children. That's actually, I think that's a way of dealing with grief. I'm sorry for anybody who does it. Calls out to their deceased loved ones. Rest in peace, her husband, and you shouldn't have jumped, nor should you have walked along there even after your husband died. Like, what? No! No. If your husband slipped and fell there, then you probably would. So you shouldn't have done it.
Heard singing. sobbing and calling for her family in the evening hours or at night. In addition, some visitors that stay near the coast claim to see her white ghostly figure walk along the coastline. The winds were so powerful around this lighthouse that it made being outside next to impossible. I could see multiple warning signs about not getting too close to the rocky edge. And locals had told me the same thing. Tourists.
Hell no.
We went out and got a guy that was swept off the rocks.
That was 2014. These pictures were taken Sunday, and they've since gone viral.
And have fallen into the rocky waters below. Once in
Hey, what should we do? We're on slippery rocks, a rocky bottom underneath. Well, let's stand under it. Really? Really? Is that really the best idea?
This makes the story of Peggy's husband 100% believable in my opinion. I contacted the Coast Guard about getting access inside the lighthouse. And I explained that I wanted to tell the story of Peggy. Immediately, it seemed like the man was trying to get me off of the phone as quickly as he could. Days later, I received a voicemail at around 5 a.m. from the same man, saying I was denied access due to safety concerns. I found this strange because other media outlets were given access, and I could find their videos here on YouTube. Is there something they're trying to hide inside this lighthouse? After I told them I was looking into its history, I guess we'll never know. Finally, I want to talk about a lighthouse that we didn't get a chance to personally visit, but is the home of an infamous ghost photo on the internet. The St. Augustine Lighthouse was first lit around 1737, but was demolished, and the lighthouse you see here was built in 1824. The most infamous ghosts at this lighthouse are two sisters, named Eliza, age 13, and Mary, age 15, whose father was renovating the lighthouse in 1837. It was during this year that the two girls climbed in a cart used for transporting building. During this year, that the two girls climbed in a cart used for transporting building materials secured via a rope. The rope snapped, and it sent the girls towards the rocky waters. Both girls sadly passed away. Tourists can hear girls' laughter coming from the tower at night.
Okay, so that last clip / story or whatever it was didn't make that much sense on account of people don't know what they're doing. They don't. They really don't.
She was wearing when she fell into the rocky waters below that fateful day. In this infamous ghost photo, a woman can be seen sitting on the edge of the lighthouse. Do you think it's Eliza or Mary? The photographer said the lighthouse was completely empty when it was taken.
Chill with going into haunted places and hearing creepy noises, but half of these tourists are probably like, "No, why are you happy?" So I mean, okay, let's just talk about what makes a spirit want to haunt a place. They are attached to it, nor do they want to leave. They don't always get attached to buildings or things. They get attached to people too. Don't spawn demons. 'Cause Maxwell is my friend, which is a ghost. Yeah, watch back to my paranormal video. He's actually quite nice and I like him. Hi Maxwell, if you're anywhere. But, yeah. Moving on.
Cases, the real danger was the lighthouses themselves.
Alright guys, well, that is the end of this video. I'm hearing things because other people are in this house. Alright, but that is the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed the new intro, the new style where I'm not in a little Mobizen little camera thing here. I hope you enjoyed, because I certainly did. Now to edit. I don't usually do this because I am a gamer, so I live stream more. Time to edit. I'll talk to you guys later. Peace. Oh, LSS, like, subscribe, and share to all your friends. Bye!